In the animal kingdom, unexpected encounters between humans and wildlife often lead to heartwarming moments. From a wildlife photographer being treated like a pack member by a group of wolves, to a cheetah curiously approaching a tourist's jeep, these heartwarming encounters showcase the capacity for trust and connection between species.
From a lioness stealing the photographer's camera to a bear peacefully sitting next to a wildlife filmmaker. And stay with us to see why the BBC cameraman got smacked in the nuts by this angry sheep. We will see how the real-life Timon used this photographer to find his best friend Pumbaa. So, without further ado, let's get started.
A young photographer had the coolest moment ever in the Oregon woods when a big grey wolf walked right out of the trees. She was hiding behind a tree in her green clothes, trying not to move, while the wolf came closer and closer. The morning sun made the wolf's fur look amazing, like something out of a movie, and she couldn't believe her luck. The wolf had no idea she was there until she made a tiny noise. Then it stopped super fast and stared right at her. Their eyes met for just a second, which felt like forever to her. And then, whoosh! The wolf ran back into the forest like lightning. She was so excited her hands were shaking as she checked her camera, hoping she got some good shots of this once-in-a-lifetime moment. It was totally going to be her best Instagram post ever. Cheetahs on safari jeeps are one of the most common sights in Africa. In this instance, one cheetah climbed onto a tourist's jeep, inspecting what was going on inside. Shortly after, other cheetahs joined it on the roof of the jeep. It was both a thrilling and terrifying moment. In another incident, when a cheetah was on the roof of a jeep, a man attempted to lick the cheetah's tail. This act was hilarious, dangerous, and thrilling all at once.
Yo, my boy.
Wolves are intelligent and stunning creatures. Once you gain their trust, there's no need to fear them. People often call wolves forbidden huskies, and it's easy to see why. In this video, a pack of wolves approaches a wildlife photographer as if he's one of their own. They seem to treat him like a member of their pack, showing affection by licking him and playing around him. It's clear they feel completely comfortable, sensing he's no threat. The bond between the photographer and these wild animals is truly remarkable, showcasing the wolves' capacity for trust and connection. Bears are undeniably dangerous animals, but photographer Drew Hammond experienced an unexpected and delightful moment while filming a bear's morning routine. As Drew concentrated on his work, a bear quietly approached from behind and sat down beside him. Rather than being aggressive or threatening, the bear seemed calm and content. Drew was astonished as the bear settled next to him, and together they shared a serene moment, both gazing at the waves lapping against the shore. After a while, the bear stood up and wandered downstream to join its companions, leaving Drew with a peaceful, unforgettable memory. Ben has been a diver for over 20 years and experienced one of nature's most precious encounters with its majestic creatures. According to Ben, shaking hands with a seal is an incredible feeling. When you gently squeeze its flippers, it squeezes back. In that moment, time seems to stop as you focus entirely on the experience. When a seal approached him, Ben acted cautiously, understanding it was just curious. The seal came so close that he could pet and hug it. Seals are gentle with him, often approaching on their own, and Ben believes they think he's one of them, even teaching him how to dive. Over the years, they've allowed him to observe them, seemingly understanding his presence. Ben has spent 2 decades diving with seals, meeting different ones each time, and learning how to gain their trust. When they realize he's no threat, they act in a completely different, beautiful way. These moments are incredibly special for Ben, as he's committed to observing wildlife without causing any disturbance, ensuring nature is respected.
Hyenas are famed scavengers and often dine on the leftovers of other predators. They are one of the animals with the strongest bite force in the animal kingdom. They are portrayed as deadly, and those who have come across them can tell you that that's not a laughing matter. However, despite their cunning and savage nature, hyenas can turn out to be quite adorable. Don't agree with me? Then check out this full-grown male spotted hyena acting like a puppy. Kevin Richardson is a wildlife conservationist and self-taught sanctuary owner who works with African lions, black leopards, spotted hyenas, and striped hyenas. He is well known for playing football with lions and sleeping with them. But check this out. He is more than happy to give the hyena a few more pets and show love to it. The hyena doesn't even seem to mind, and it somehow gives the impression that he's actually petting a dog. Don't you just love to see it?
The fastest predator in the animal kingdom is the cheetah, a creature renowned for its incredible speed. Despite this, we call them cats for a reason, and it is because they are curious. On one occasion, a group of photographers in Africa was on the lookout for captivating animal shots when they encountered a cheetah. This remarkable predator approached their jeep and lingered nearby, curiously observing them and their vehicle. After some time, the cheetah eventually wandered off, leaving the photographers with an unforgettable experience.
Professional photographer Barbara Jensen was filming a lion pride from her group in a 4x4 vehicle in Botswana's Mashatu Game Reserve when a valuable piece of equipment dropped out of the vehicle and onto the ground. As soon as the photographer dropped her expensive camera, a protective lioness jumped up and moved towards the vehicle to see what was on the ground. She came so close that Barbara and her crew had no chance to get their camera back and had to go away from it. The lioness then snatched up Jensen's camera and telephoto lens in her mouth and carried it a distance before giving it to her cubs, who then pounced on their new toy and began playing with it. They then dragged it through the dirt, chewed on the lens hood, and then, fortunately, like most kids, soon grew tired with their new toy and left it behind. After retrieving her abandoned camera, Jensen found it was working perfectly, aside from teeth marks across the surface. Because it was only aesthetic damage, she never had it repaired, because, let's be honest, what photographer can show off that their lens had been inside a lion's mouth?
Here, we have another beautiful encounter. Several cheetahs were playfully interacting while being filmed by tourists. To their surprise, 5 of these cheetahs decided to climb onto the roof of the vehicle, inspecting the situation and frolicking around. One even ventured inside the jeep to greet the tourists and posed for some close-up shots. The cheetahs seemed intent on sitting on the jeep all day, but when the tourists had to leave, the vehicle started moving, prompting the cheetahs to climb down and go their own way. It was truly a wonderful encounter.
In an enthralling scene, a lion is seen enjoying a playful run with fellow lions, contrary to the fearsome reputation of the king of the jungle. This lion seems content in the company of friends, unbothered by a photographer capturing the moment. The photographer, lying on the ground, experiences the exhilaration as 3 lions dash around the corner. This remarkable footage demonstrates the more playful, less intimidating side of these majestic creatures. However, such close encounters are not for everyone. The man in the video, renowned as the Lion Whisperer, stands out for his exceptional understanding of lion behavior. Known for recognizing the unique personalities of each lion and treating them like family, he has earned their trust and acceptance. His extraordinary bond with these lions is evident as he engages in activities like playing football and sharing affectionate moments with them.
Gorillas are the largest living primates, and Uganda is known to be the home of thousands of silverback gorillas. Photographer John King was getting prepared to enter the dense forest in search of gorillas for his next documentary. However, he was caught off guard as the gorillas approached him through the dense forest. At the base camp, a family of silverback gorillas encountered King and his team, and the young and adult gorillas came up close and personal. John is even groomed by one of the silverbacks. The gorillas leave after a few minutes of interaction, leaving John speechless.
A photographer was filming an elk from a safe distance in a national park when a young bull elk approached, seemingly ready to challenge him. The photographer wisely kept his distance to avoid any conflict. When the elk noticed that the photographer stayed calm, it became less aggressive, and the photographer took the opportunity to snap some photos. For a while, The elk lost interest in the photographer, but then it seemed to become agitated again, as if it still wanted to fight. The photographer remained calm throughout. As a car arrived to pick up the photographer, the elk sniffed the gear briefly before finally running away. Enjoying the content? Hit that subscribe button and join our community. Don't forget to like, share, and click the notification bell to stay updated. Now back to the video.
Not all close encounters run the risk of being deadly and dangerous. Meerkats are naturally curious animals. Scientists and filmmakers have been studying the animals for nearly 2 decades, which means they are perfectly comfortable with being photographed. Some would even say they get a little too comfortable around us. Like these meerkats, who not only came incredibly close to these 2 wildlife cameramen, but even took some mid-afternoon shade just under their buttocks. Or this meerkat, who climbed onto a cameraman's head and used him as a tall lookout post to scan for potential predators and look out for its young.
Imagine photographing a lion pride from a safe distance, only to have a curious, huge lion suddenly appear near you, sniffing your equipment. This is the story of when wildlife photographer Graham Springer came across a pride of lions peacefully roaring in the early morning. It was simply another day at the office for him. Underneath his car, Graham was carefully shooting the lion's morning routine from a distance, while his colleague filmed the scene. But then, a frightening encounter unfolded on camera. One particular lioness took a different route and came freakishly close to him. Graham didn't have enough time to get into his car and had no choice but to stand still and wait. The lioness investigated him and his camera gear, her curiosity getting the better of her. Graham was frozen in fear, unsure of what to do next. But eventually, the lioness lost interest and left. It was one of his most nerve-wracking experiences, a reminder of the risks and rewards that come with capturing the beauty of the wild on camera.
When photographer and filmmaker Steve Backshall encountered an unexpected group of visitors, a pack of wolves, he was astonished. Wagging their tails and smelling Steve and his colleague, the wolves closed in on them. Because of their dog-like behavior, one's imagination easily jumps to the conclusion that the wolves are the forbidden huskies. My natural reaction would be to run as quickly as possible, but Steve and the crew remained cool. Wolves in the wild usually do not pose a threat to humans. Wolves are very cautious animals that generally avoid contact with humans. But not to mention, if provoked, wolves are quite unpredictable, and an encounter with them can turn lethal in a moment. Fortunately for Steve and his crew, this pack was on a different mission, probably to return the favor and learn more about humans as well. The wolves became so friendly that they not only let Steve and his crew pet them, but they also began howling with him. That's very cute. When you watch this encounter, you have to wonder whether this is how our forefathers domesticated wolves in the Stone Age. Well, a word of caution, do not attempt this in your local forests. I don't have to tell you what could happen. For Steve and his crew, it was certainly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Don't you agree?
Photographer Joel Olson and his crew had a very cute encounter with baby penguins in Antarctica while filming the life of penguins. As he and his team were approached by a group of baby penguins, one of the babies started pecking at his legs. To get a better look, it jumped onto his belly, making for a very cute encounter.
Professional photographer Alexei Trofimov had an exciting and rare moment while out in Lake Peipus in Russia. Alexei had gone to photograph the frozen wild, as well as the seals throughout the winter. Alexei had attempted for 3 years to photograph the seals, but each time they noticed him, they would disappear into the water beneath the ice. Fortunately, his 3 years of patience were rewarded on this day, as this adorable baby seal not only let Alexei get near to it, but also lie still as he took photos. The baby seal then lifted one of its flippers as if to say hello to Alexei, something he hadn't done at first. Or it could have been that he was saying goodbye to Alexei before vanishing into the river. What do you think? Baby seals are easily frightened and thus are hard to take pictures of, but this particular baby seal was a special kind.
Another cute encounter between penguins and two photographers in Antarctica was filmed when a group of penguins saw a photographer from a distance and decided to approach the man. Penguins are as curious as cats, and this group came very close to the human, pecking here and there. This might have been a food search, or they were simply seeing something like humans for the first time. Whatever the reason, one thing is sure. This was a once-in-a-lifetime experience for these two photographers. The penguins stayed with them, giving them the chance to take close-up shots before leaving.
Photographer Kim decides to take some up-close photographs of this black rhino with the sunset on the horizon as the background. The shots are amazing, but what Kim doesn't figure out fast enough is that through the camera lens, objects look a lot further away than they actually are. Kim is, however, lucky enough to avoid the charging rhino as he dashes into the bushes. The rhino eventually leaves, and Kim is lucky enough to survive the ordeal. The photos were, however, worth the risk, don't you think? This other rhino is either photophobic or doesn't want the world to know. These photographers came too close to the rhino and he didn't like it. The photographers appear unconcerned about the charging rhino at first, but as the rhino shows no indication of slowing down, they become frightened. These enormous tanks are known to charge towards vehicles and even overturn them with their short horns. Trespassers are not spared because they are territorial. Fortunately, the photographers survived and are able to continue their lives, but only after learning to keep their distance in the future and having a longer set of camera lenses.
In another enchanting encounter, a baby seal approached a cameraman in a snowy, icy environment. Curious and playful, made a series of curious noises and began to sniff around the cameraman's shoes, seemingly intrigued by the unfamiliar scent. After their time together, the seal eventually left, retreating into the frozen waters beneath the snow, marking the end of a heartwarming and memorable encounter.
A BBC cameraman was headbutted in the balls by an angry sheep, and the video went viral on the internet.
These are Cameroon sheep, they're from Africa.
After filming lions, sharks, snow leopards, gorillas, and all kinds of other potentially dangerous animals, the cameraman may have been a little too trusting of this Cameroon sheep named Cecil at an animal park.
So
He's
naughty.
Like...
Users on the internet wrote some crazy comments on the video when the BBC posted it on their YouTube channel with the title, "Cameraman Smacked in the Nuts by Angry Sheep." One user said, "Never thought I'd see the BBC use nuts in their video title." Another one made a joke saying, "Explain this to your insurance." Viewers were amused.
Imagine being on a safari adventure in Tanzania, surrounded by the breathtaking beauty of the Serengeti National Park, when a curious cheetah suddenly jumps inside your Jeep, leaving you frozen in awe. The cheetah, seemingly unafraid of humans, climbed inside the vehicle, surprising both passengers and onlookers alike. The guide's advice was to remain calm and still, avoiding eye contact to prevent the cheetah from feeling threatened, and the man wisely froze for 10 minutes, allowing him to capture the incredible moment on film. After inspecting the vehicle, the cheetah eventually left, leaving behind a relieved and thrilled tourist, serving as a reminder to respect wildlife and their natural habitats.
Cheetahs. You probably already know they are the fastest land animals and can go from 0 to 60 in just 3 seconds. For our next story, meet wildlife photographer Kim Woolhooter, who has an up-close encounter with a litter of cheetah cubs. The curious cubs approach Kim as their mother watches from a distance. Undisturbed, the mother continues resting as Kim goes ahead and even pets one of the cubs. Wouldn't you want to pet one? Look at how adorable they are. It is a fantasy for most of us, but for Kim, it was a tick off his bucket list. However, do not try this in the wild because of the obvious reason that mother cheetahs are very protective, and if you try something like this, you might not be able to pet anything else ever again. Kim was just lucky. We might not say the same thing about you.
This cute moment was captured in a zoo, where a cheetah behind the glass was playfully interacting with a little girl. The child, undeterred by the large feline, appeared to be chatting with the cheetah in her own language, her excitement evident.
Ooh, he's scary. Wait, shh.
The cheetah, seemingly intrigued and calm, sat nearby, making the interaction even more endearing. The scene was truly adorable, showcasing a heartwarming connection between the young girl and the majestic predator.
In this video, it almost seems like animals want to take pictures too. A man is filming the landscape when suddenly a sea lion floats into view on an iceberg, crossing right in front of the camera. The sea lion appears a bit sad, as if it's disappointed about not getting its photo taken. It's a bit of a heart-tugging moment for the sea lion.
Perhaps the best penguin story you will ever hear, and I think there should be a movie on this story. Dindim, a South American Magellanic penguin, swims an incredible 5,000 miles each year to be reunited with the man who saved his life, João Pereira de Souza, a 70-year-old part-time fisherman from an island village just outside Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. João found Dindim, a tiny penguin, lying on rocks at his local beach, covered in oil and close to death. He nursed Dindim back to health, and after a week, released him on a nearby island. But Dindim returned, calling out for João, and stayed with him for another 11 months before disappearing. Months later, João heard a loud squawk coming from his backyard, and Dindim was there, waiting for him, and the two were reunited again. This has been going on every year since, with Dindim traveling up to 5,000 miles in a round trip from breeding locations and then back to see João. João says, "I love this penguin, like it's my own child, and I believe the penguin loves me. No one else is allowed to touch him. He pecks them if they do. He lies on my lap, lets me give him showers, allows me to feed him sardines, and to pick him up. To your surprise, there is a movie about the friendship of Dindim and João that you must watch, My Penguin Friend, to experience the true story between a human and a cute little penguin."
Lions are often referred to as the kings of the jungle, symbolizing their strength and authority in the animal kingdom. Yet humans, with their advanced intelligence, can sometimes have an upper hand. In the video, we witness an intriguing scene where a large male lion retreats from a man holding just a piece of wood. Despite the lion's physical prowess, it's the man's confident stance that seems to intimidate the lion. Animals, unlike humans, interpret confrontation differently. When faced with a human who appears confident and unafraid, their primal instincts may prompt them to back off, as seen in this instance where the lion chooses to flee.
Tonga is an African serval, a rare white serval with a unique circular pattern. He is one of only 2 white servals in the world with this pattern. Tonga's white coat is a result of leucism, a condition characterized by partial loss of pigmentation. Despite being a rare breed, Tonga faced a health challenge when he developed skin cancer on his nose. After undergoing surgery, Tonga lost his nose, but has since made a full recovery and has been cancer-free for 4 years. Pharaoh is a 21-year-old serval, also a rare white serval that doesn't occur naturally in the wild. He was bred in captivity through severe inbreeding, a common practice in tigers and lions. Despite being deeply inbred, Pharaoh has lived a long life, which is remarkable. However, he has recently been experiencing some health issues, including a problem with his third eyelid and a lack of appetite. To ensure his comfort and safety, Pharaoh has been moved to a special room at the Bobcat Rehab Hospital, where he can be monitored and cared for.
When a photographer went exploring in the wild, he didn't expect to meet 2 friendly foxes. As he lay in the grass, these foxes didn't run away. Instead, they playfully ran around him, letting him take some amazing photos. This shows that not all wild animals are scary. Some are playful and don't mind having their picture taken. It was a cute and unexpected moment in nature.
This beluga whale named Tina seems to have a special affection for her zookeeper, almost like she has a crush on him. Tina clearly craves his attention and wants him to notice her. She eagerly receives kisses from him and seems to ignore anyone else who tries to interact with her in the same way. When the zookeeper pets her, Tina makes what are described as love sounds, showing how much she enjoys his company. Even when efforts were made to introduce her to a male beluga, Tina wasn't interested and ignored him. In fact, if anyone tried to approach her while she was with her zookeeper, Tina would even spit water at them, making it clear that she wanted him all to herself.
In this intriguing video, a lioness unexpectedly joins a scene featuring a group of people in a vehicle and a photographer perched atop his vehicle. The man, upon noticing the lioness, displays remarkable composure, staying utterly calm. His background as a wildlife reserve expert, accustomed to encounters with dangerous animals, has prepared him well for such moments. For anyone facing a similar situation, mirroring this expert's calm demeanor is crucial for safety. Predators, like lions, are sensitive to fear, and displaying panic can increase the risk of an attack. The ability to remain unflustered in the presence of such majestic creatures is essential. Interestingly, the video also reveals more lions appearing, adding to the captivating yet tense situation.
After 20 years in a zoo, 2 dolphins, Gumdung and Daipo, were finally returning to their hometown, the Jeju Sea. Their journey was a long-awaited one, and their zookeepers were both excited and sad to see them go. The dolphins had formed strong bonds with their zookeepers, who had cared for them and fed them for 2 decades. They performed their last show at the zoo, marking the end of an era. As they said their goodbyes, the zookeepers couldn't help but wonder if the dolphins would thrive in the wild. As they swam in the familiar waters, they began to catch prey on their own, a crucial step towards their independence. On the day of their release, they were finally free to roam the ocean. But in a surprising turn of events, Gumdung returned to the net, as if to say goodbye to his zookeepers one last time.
Jamal Hadij Aiza is a photojournalist who shared a moment with an adorable lion cub while on a quest to capture a lion family. We can see him holding a camera and trying to capture some wildlife moments, with the lion cub sitting next to him and chilling.
In the frozen landscape of Labitnangi, Russia, an unexpected encounter took place between a fisherman and an adorable Arctic fox while he was ice fishing. A curious and brave little fox approached him, drawn to the tantalizing smell of fresh fish, and despite the fisherman's initial attempts to shoo the fox away, the persistent little creature refused to give up. In a heartwarming display of kindness, the fisherman eventually relented, offering the fox one of his catch. And the little fox's eyes sparkled with excitement as it claimed its prize, sharing a special bond on the icy waters.
Seals are known to be shy and often flee when they sense a human nearby, and understandably so, as humans have hunted them for their fur. However, this particular baby seal, unaware of the world's cruelty, spotted a human photographer and chose to approach him, perhaps for a better picture. It even appeared to be fond of his boots. Meanwhile, the penguins in the background
just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
A silverback gorilla named Jambo and a female gorilla named Binti demonstrated extraordinary compassion and protection towards young children who had fallen into their enclosures. The first incident occurred in 1986 at a zoo in England, where a 5-year-old boy fell 20 feet into the gorilla pit and became unconscious. Jambo, the silverback gorilla, tenderly approached the boy and patted him on the back, keeping other gorillas at bay. When the boy woke up and began to cry, Jambo gave zookeepers the opportunity to rescue him. In a similar incident at the Chicago Zoo, a 3-year-old boy fell 20 feet into the gorilla exhibit. Binti, a female gorilla, picked up the injured boy and cradled him in her arms. In a remarkable display of intelligence and compassion, Binti carried the boy to the cage door and stepped away, allowing zookeepers to rescue him.
What should you do when an African wild cat fell in love with your hair?
Nice. Oh, you love my hair, don't you?
At Nambiti Private Game Reserve in South Africa, the cameraman Boris was attempting to capture some close shots of these wild cats. One of them climbed up a tree trunk and began playing with Boris's hair. Boris wisely handed off his camera to a brave colleague. After all, who wouldn't want a snapshot of a wild cat doing your hair care routine? And to be honest, Boris does have a pretty impressive mane.
There's nothing more comforting than a warm hug, and this kangaroo was in need of one. It absolutely loves being held, and you can see how completely at ease it becomes after that long embrace from the woman. Eric, a 7-year-old kangaroo, was rescued as a baby by Linda, who has been caring for him ever since. Linda's love for Eric is evident. She feeds him by hand and gives him hugs, and Eric often comes to her for more affection. She considers Eric her child and cares for him like a baby. After Eric's mother was tragically killed in a car accident, Linda has been his devoted caregiver since he was just a few months old. Although Eric lives in an enclosure with other kangaroos and animals, his bond with Linda is unique. She and her husband provide excellent care for all the animals, and it's heartwarming to see the special connection they share with Eric.
In another instance, photographer Kim was filming a cheetah family. After spending days around the cheetah mother, Kim and his team gained her trust. Then, Kim did something incredible. He went ahead and laid down next to the cheetah cubs while the mother was sitting nearby. Surprisingly, the cheetah cubs approached him. At first, they were a bit scared, but in a few moments, they became so comfortable that they climbed on him, sniffing his fingers and feet. The cheetah mother didn't seem to care, as Kim and his team were not a threat to her cubs. This is truly a wonderful and heartwarming experience.
Crows are often considered one of the most intelligent bird species in the animal kingdom, with their intelligence level proven scientifically. A wild crow named Sharky has formed a remarkable bond with a woman named Kiara and her dog. Despite being able to fly, Sharky prefers to walk alongside Kiara, a daily routine that has continued for over 2 years. It's clear that Sharky is deeply impressed by Kiara and enjoys spending time with her. Sharky's affection for Kiara extends to joining her in the garden while she reads during the summer. What's more, Sharky has a male partner, and together they have raised fledglings. In a heartwarming display of trust, Sharky has even brought her fledglings to meet Kiara. On occasion, Sharky, her partner, and their fledglings will join Kiara for a walk, creating a beautiful and unique friendship. This extraordinary encounter is a rare and special experience that few people can claim to have had.
The video featuring a cat is both surprising and a bit shocking. It starts with a seemingly innocent scene of a cute cat cautiously lowering itself from a ledge. But as the camera moves, it reveals a startling detail. The drop is over 20 feet high. Despite this, the adventurous cat takes a bold leap, showing no hesitation. In an unforeseen twist, the cat collides with a power line mid-air, causing it to flip in an uncontrolled manner. Miraculously, and true to a cat's agility, it manages to land on its feet. Thankfully, despite the dramatic fall and the unexpected encounter with the power line, the cat was unharmed.
The sight of this baby walking towards a fawn and interacting with it is incredibly adorable. The fawn seems to enjoy the baby's company and stays close, making the moment even more heartwarming. Here, we have another sweet scene. A fawn surrounded by little girls who are adoring it. The fawn seems to relish their company and gives the girl a few gentle licks on her face. Meanwhile, a photographer captures the adorable moment, and the kids are clearly enjoying the interaction. It's a heartwarming display of affection between the children and the fawn.
This image has won Sergei Gorskov the title of Wildlife Photographer of the Year. In this video, a female tiger is seen hugging a tree, rubbing herself against the bark. If you know anything about big cats, they do that to leave their scent and mark territory. What's really special is that this picture was taken using a camera trap. The camera was set up in the forest and took the picture automatically when a tiger walked by. Sergei had to know the right spot to put the camera. That's where a skilled wildlife photographer comes in. But it's not just about skill or luck. He followed the tiger for over 11 months to get this amazing shot.
This man's lizard is surprisingly affectionate, greeting him like a dog whenever he's called, scurrying towards him with its tail wagging. and nuzzling its owner in a heartwarming display of their special bond.
Male lions are surprisingly swift and agile. This is vividly demonstrated in a scenario where a lion astounds a photographer by climbing a tree. Initially, the lion evaluates the tree, then leaps up effortlessly, proceeding to climb to its preferred spot. This serves as a stark reminder. If you're ever in a situation where a lion is pursuing you, keep in mind that they are far more adept at climbing trees than humans are.
Orangutans are our close relatives. In a touching moment, an orangutan, probably a mother, seems to ask a man to show her his baby. Who can resist cute, fluffy babies? You can see in her expression, with her lips puckered, that she looks like she wants to kiss the baby and hold it in her arms. It's a heartwarming and sweet interaction. This encounter is between a man named Vincent and a seal while he was fishing in Coronado, California. The seal jumped onto Vincent's kayak and began to nudge him, eventually nuzzling him and refusing to leave. Despite initial fears that the seal might bite him, Vincent was surprised when it simply hung out on his back for 45 minutes. The seal followed Vincent to shore and eventually had to be coaxed back into the water.
Seagulls are notorious for snatching food from people's hands, but they're not limited to just that. This video showcases a seagull that appears to have grand aspirations of becoming a celebrity, and perhaps even a bit of a prankster. In a rather entertaining scene, the seagull takes its antics up a notch by boldly snatching a camera and taking to the skies. There's a whimsical notion that the seagull might have a hidden interest in vlogging. He knows all the camera angles vloggers use these days. It's not only seagulls that are fascinated by cameras. Here's another bird that gets in on the act. In this case, a parrot snatches a GoPro and takes off, probably thinking it's something to eat. After pecking a bit and realizing it's not edible, the parrot decides to drop the camera and move on.
This video is likely the most adorable thing you'll see today. It shows a photographer lying down, attempting to capture shots of wildlife. Suddenly, his photo session takes a charming turn when a group of meerkats curiously approaches. To his amazement, these inquisitive little creatures start climbing all over him, exploring with endearing curiosity. It's a truly cute and unexpected moment in the world of wildlife photography.
Being a wildlife photographer demands immense patience and understanding of animal behavior and concealment techniques. The National Geographic camera team managed to capture a stunning showdown where a baby meerkat stumbles upon a cobra. Facing a cobra one-on-one is not a good idea, especially when you're only a few weeks old. So the baby meerkat calls for help and its family comes to face the cobra together. The meerkat's agility and group tactics turn the tables, leading to an exhilarating victory against the deadly snake. These kinds of videos showcase how difficult it is to capture wildlife.
Nature photography is a beloved hobby, and this video showcases why. It starts with a stunning view of a mountain landscape, but for those paying attention, a small, furry marmot soon becomes the star of the show. Approaching the camera, this adorable little marmot begins to lick it. The photographer is taken aback by this unexpected and brave act of cuteness from the little creature.
If you didn't believe that an orangutan using a saw could outperform some humans, it's time to change your perspective. This fascinating video shows a female orangutan expertly using a saw to split a branch into two parts. Copying the actions of a robot spy orangutan, she holds the tool with her hand and grips the tree branch tightly using her feet. She even blows away the sawdust to examine her work, just like a skilled woodworker. Whenever she notices a robot or another orangutan imitating her actions, she becomes even more competitive. This incredible moment demonstrates the impressive smarts and problem-solving skills of orangutans, underlining their ability to adjust and learn from their environment.
A group on a spring break trip in Tanzania experiences an intense moment when a cheetah unexpectedly leaps into their safari jeep. The guide's quick thinking advises everyone to remain absolutely still, a crucial instruction they follow for a tense 10 minutes. Remarkably, this strategy works, and the cheetah eventually leaves without causing any harm. If you were in that situation, staying motionless would be key to ensuring safety. It's a nerve-wracking scenario to imagine. What would your reaction be in such a close encounter with a wild cheetah?
Long-tailed macaques at an Indonesian temple have cleverly learned to steal items like glasses, hats, and money from tourists. They exchange these things with temple staff for food, showcasing their craftiness. These monkeys have become skilled at this robbing and bartering behavior to get extra food from humans. Despite their mischievous actions, they are charming animals commonly seen across Asia. This behavior highlights how adaptable and resourceful these macaques can be in using human presence to their advantage.
Sloths are known for their slow pace, and it can take them hours to cross a road at their top speed. This particular sloth was making its way across the road when a kind man stopped to help it. After gently placing the sloth on a nearby tree, the sloth slowly waved at the man and seemed to smile, expressing its gratitude in its own unique way.
This video initially gives the impression of a distressing scene with a small fox, but it turns out the fox is just peacefully napping on a lazy afternoon, which seems quite enjoyable given the weather. As someone approaches and extends a hand to pet the fox, it quickly wakes up and scurries away. However, in a cute moment before fleeing, the fox turns to look at the person who disturbed its sleep. It's a charming scene, though one can't help feeling a bit sorry for the fox. It might have been really tired and in need of rest. Waking it up seems a bit unfair, but the interaction was undeniably adorable. Oh well, such is the life of a wild animal.
The elusive crusty nautilus, a special sea creature loved by biologists for its one-of-a-kind look, has been found again after being missing for 30 years. This creature is really good at staying alive, which amazes scientists. A living fossil, the crusty nautilus is known for its distinctive shells that have appeared as fossils over a span of 500 million years. Even though they face problems like people wanting their shells and valuable metals in the ocean, these special nautiluses that are hard to find keep on captivating us with their mysteries and unique qualities.
Typically, seeing a goose running toward you might make you want to run the other way. However, this goose was not looking to attack. It was running toward a lady for a warm hug. The joy on the goose's face as it embraced her was heartwarming, clearly showing how much it enjoyed the affectionate gesture.
The video initially suggests a risky situation, but the man involved is actually a trained professional. He's Dean Schneider, a Swiss founder of an animal sanctuary and social media personality in South Africa. In the footage, a lion starts growling at some people nearby, appearing agitated. Then, unexpectedly, the lion approaches the photographer and cuddles him. Caught off guard by this display of affection, the photographer responds with a big hug. This reaction shows the lion that he is not in danger from his human companion, preventing the situation from escalating. Schneider's expertise and bond with the lion are evident in this remarkable interaction. In this video, he is filming a lion that is sneaking up on him from behind. Now it would freeze me to death. But again, Dean is professional, and he knows lions' behavior and what he is doing. You, on the other hand, do not try this at home. But of course, not everyone keep lions at home.
One of the rarest bears on Earth, it's neither albino nor a polar bear. The spirit bear, also referred to as the Kermode bear, is essentially a white version of the North American black bear and is found almost exclusively in the Great Bear Rainforest, a vast expanse of 25,000 square miles along Canada's western coast. The whitish coloration of the spirit bear is a result of mutation in a gene involved in melanin production, as discovered by geneticists. This trait is recessive, meaning that both parents must carry the mutated gene for their offspring to inherit the white fur. In the Great Bear Rainforest, an estimated 500 to 1,200 black bears carry this gene, which could potentially give rise to more spirit bears. However, the precise population of spirit bears remains uncertain. What makes this bear truly unique is its appearance. Giraffe Manor in Nairobi, Kenya, offers a unique experience of being surrounded by giraffes. These gentle giants visit the manor daily, poking their long necks into windows to interact with guests. Set within 12 acres of private land nestled in the lush indigenous forest of Nairobi, this establishment stands as a true icon among the city's landmarks. What's more, at certain times of the day, guests are presented with buckets filled with the giraffe's favorite meal, nutritious grass pellets. If you're fortunate, some of the rooms facing the front allow you to indulge in a particularly enchanting experience, feeding the giraffes right through your window. This is the epitome of an opulent sanctuary, offering an opportunity to relish a truly majestic African vacation.
A photographer meets a very strong kangaroo and is shocked when they shake hands. He can't believe how muscular the kangaroo is and talks to it, amazed.
Oh! Yeah, okay.
This funny moment makes him joke about wanting the kangaroo's workout plan, as the kangaroo looks in great shape. It's a light-hearted and surprising encounter, showing just how strong and fit kangaroos can be. Fascinating how some animals instinctively act gently around babies, as if they understand their vulnerability without being told. This is beautifully illustrated in a video where a mother and father introduce their newborn to their well-trained husky. The scene unfolds with the husky calmly lying next to the baby, both completely at ease. This heartwarming interaction highlights the incredible bond between humans and dogs, reminding us of the special place these wonderful animals hold in our lives. It's moments like these that truly show the remarkable nature of dogs. A wildlife videographer jogging through the woods is suddenly confronted by a wild black bear, leading to an intense moment. He responds by firmly yelling at the bear, attempting to keep it at bay.
Stop. Right now, stop.
Despite his efforts, the bear continues to approach, seemingly unfazed. The man's ability to remain calm and handle the situation is commendable, especially considering the natural instinct to flee, which would be futile against a faster bear. It's a striking example of composure in a potentially dangerous encounter.
A heartwarming incident happened at a French aquarium. A friendly technician was cleaning a shark tank when a leopard shark caught their attention. Instead of being scared, the shark swam up to the technician and got a hug. The shark even seemed to smile. It enjoyed a belly rub from the technician before swimming away. This video shows that sharks can be friendly, contrary to what movies like Jaws suggest. If you're interested, you can find leopard sharks along the Pacific coast of North America. Marmots exhibit a surprising and endearing level of friendliness within their social groups. But in some cases, marmots in national parks or tourist-heavy locations might display curiosity towards humans, approaching for food scraps, and interacting in a seemingly friendly manner. Here we have a couple of marmots who are happily enjoying interacting with this kind lady who is giving them cookies. Marmots' ability to form close bonds and communicate effectively within their groups reflects their remarkable sociable disposition. These marmots do not mind humans around them. They often receive pets from humans and do not mind them at all. However, it's essential to remember that these are still wild animals and their behavior can be unpredictable.
Yo, my boy.
The 2019 Black Summer bushfires devastated Australia's wildlife, affecting 3 billion animals. Many perished or were displaced, with endangered species like koalas losing critical habitat, pushing some closer to extinction and causing significant disruption to ecosystems. In a heart-wrenching moment during rescue efforts, a woman used her t-shirt to save a suffering koala, offering it water in its desperate state. The image of the animal in pain highlighted the severe impact of the fires. But fortunately, the rescue team soon arrived to assist, providing crucial care and hope amidst the devastation. Penguins from Madagascar are your favorite, and it's easy to see why. Here's a charming moment. A penguin slides towards a wildlife photographer with what seems like affection, possibly hoping for a snack. It approaches, performs a greeting ritual, and curiously inspects the photographer's equipment, allowing for some close-up shots before moving away to pose for more. Later, a group of curious penguins came into the frame of the same photographer, drawn by a mix of curiosity and perhaps the allure of a new visitor. Unlike the single penguin from before, this time there were several, all eager to explore. They waddled up to the photographer, each one taking a turn to investigate. The photographer took advantage of this unexpected opportunity, capturing a series of charming shots of the penguins as they posed and interacted, and then left as they had come. This bear is surprisingly polite and has good manners. When it joined the table, it stayed there until the guy made it a peanut butter sandwich. Although we all know it's not a good idea to feed wild animals, those guys had the moment of their lives. This emperor penguin, which got lost, visited the Rothera research station in Antarctica. According to researcher Mike Jones, if this penguin was from the nearest colony, it would have traveled almost 25 miles to reach the station.
If this penguin's from our nearest colony, which is in the Dion Islands to our south, he's probably waddled about 25 miles to get here.
The curious penguin stayed with Mike for hours before eventually leaving the way it came from. A baby penguin met humans for the first time. The man was lying on the ground and allowed the curious baby penguin to inspect him, even letting it climb onto his chest to get a close look.
Got a penguin standing on my belly.
Nan Hauser was filming underwater in the Cook Islands when a whale suddenly charged towards her. The whale began to push her with its head, and Nan realized it was trying to protect her from a large tiger shark. The whale continued to push Nan towards the boat, eventually lifting her out of the water and placing her on its head. Nan was shocked and grateful for the whale's actions, which she believed were an example of altruism. As she looked back on the encounter, Nan realized that the whale had risked its own life to save hers. She was amazed by the whale's selfless act and felt a deep connection to the animal.
I'm sorry, I love you too!
A year and 15 days later, Nan encountered the same whale again, recognizing it by a scar on its head and 2 notches on its tail fluke. The whale swam up to the boat and stared at Nan, and she was overcome with emotion, eventually swimming down to hug the whale. Nan felt a sense of joy and wonder at the reunion, and she knew that she would never forget the whale's kindness. She believes that the whale's actions were a true act of kindness, and that she will always cherish the memory of their encounter. When exploring Yellowstone National Park, remember to keep a safe distance from the wildlife. But if you're feeling extra adventurous, or just plain reckless, make sure you've got the speed of the Flash on your side. In this hilarious yet terrifying scenario, some tourist got a bit too cozy with an already grumpy bison, prompting it to chase after a quick-footed youngster who was just trying to enjoy the boardwalk views. Luckily, the kid had some serious wheels and managed to outrun the furry fury, escaping with his life, and a great story to tell. This encounter, though, through the camera lens, gives us insight into the sea otter community, allowing us to observe the lives of otters. The BBC used a spy camera in a stuffed sea otter to check the activities of otters. Surprisingly, one otter collected a hard rock from the seabed and placed it on its chest while floating. With the help of this rock, the otter can crack open the hardest shell. Nature is truly surprising. There's this amazing woman who's been living on a beach in Baja, California for over 12 years. She's had the privilege of watching a pod of orcas visit the area for the past 5 years. But what's really cool is that these orcas are like super moms. They're teaching their young how to hunt, and it's just the most adorable thing. The woman was paddleboarding alongside them, and you can tell she's just in awe of these incredible creatures. And the best part? One of the orcas follows her to the beach, still wanting to share its catch with her. It's like, "Hey human, thanks for respecting our space. Want to share my lunch?" It's just these little moments that remind us to appreciate the beauty of nature and the creatures that inhabit it. This cute baby elephant at an elephant sanctuary in northern Thailand showed very cute and playful behavior with a visitor named Jonathan. He and his family were visiting the sanctuary when the baby elephant approached him, and to his surprise, the baby elephant was too attracted to him and started to play with him.
Oh my goodness.
The baby elephant sat in his lap and played with grass, and Jonathan lay down cuddling the baby. All the baby wanted was to sit in his lap and lie down with him. It was a wonderful experience for Jonathan. Meet a baby gorilla who was rescued by a special place that helps gorillas in danger. This type of gorilla is very rare and needs our help to survive. But now, the baby gorilla is safe and happy. In this video, you can see the baby gorilla playing with a caregiver. They're having a great time together. This story is inspiring and shows us the importance of helping animals in need. We'll be sharing more of the story soon, so stay tuned. You know, Sometimes you're just out doing your job, and then something amazing happens. That's what happened to this cameraman when he encountered an adorable seal pup. The little guy just waddled right up to him, making the most irresistibly cute noises, and started sniffing his boots. I mean, who can resist that? The cameraman was clearly smitten, and the pup seemed to sense it. It stayed right by his side, playing with him and making those adorable sounds. It was like they were old friends, just hanging out and having a great time. The pup would circle around the cameraman, inspecting him with wide eyes, and then come back for more. Eventually, the pup slipped under the frozen water, and the cameraman thought their encounter was over. But then, something amazing happened. Just a few minutes later, the pup popped back up, eager to continue their playtime. It was like it had found a new best friend in the cameraman, and it didn't want to leave. In the early morning light, a bear wandered into a neighborhood, casually attending to its business. Out of nowhere, a man rounded the corner, and both the bear and the man were caught off guard, their eyes widening in surprise. When the bear returned to the same spot a second time, the man was smart enough not to give it another chance to bear. A tense wildlife encounter unfolded on the Coquitlam Crunch Trail when a curious black bear approached a young woman. What started as a seemingly casual encounter quickly turned dangerous as the bear, likely conditioned to expect food from humans, took a swipe at the woman's leg. The hiker remained remarkably calm during the face-off, standing her ground until she found the perfect moment to escape. The incident, caught entirely on camera, highlighted a growing problem of human-wildlife conflict in the area. While bears are a common sight on the popular hiking trail, this bold behavior prompted conservation officers to take action, closing off the upper section and setting up a trap. The bear's unusually bold behavior, likely the result of human food conditioning, left its fate hanging in the balance as officials weighed their options. In a heart-stopping encounter at an ecological park, a black bear's curious interaction with hikers quickly turned from seemingly playful to potentially dangerous. A group of visitors found themselves in an extraordinary situation when the wild animal approached them, showing particular interest in one young woman. Rather than displaying fear or panic, which might be expected in such circumstances, the woman and her friends maintained an unusually calm demeanor. In what could only be described as a dangerous lapse in judgment, the young woman even decided to capture the moment by taking out her cell phone for a selfie. The bear, appearing to play along, rose up on its hind legs beside her, creating what seemed like a posed photo opportunity. The situation took a turn when the bear, after initially walking away, suddenly returned with more aggressive intentions. It attempted to bite the woman and swiped at her with its paws, before casually departing the scene. This polar bear came unusually close to the vehicle, approaching the man with a surprisingly calm demeanor. The man, filming the bear, allowed it to come even closer, remaining safely inside his vehicle. After this brief encounter, the polar bear calmly left the scene, leaving the moment peaceful and undisturbed. Photographer has the best job in the world. This photographer, filming Arctic foxes, had an especially adorable encounter. While he was focused on his work, a young Arctic fox approached him, curiously inspecting his boots. The fox playfully ran around, returning repeatedly to the man, and as it got closer to the camera, it grew increasingly comfortable in his presence. While filming in the wild, a photographer had a remarkable encounter with a wild deer. The deer approached him, seeming completely at ease, and even leaning in for gentle face rubs with its eyes closed. That look of joy and satisfaction on the deer's face is unparalleled. In an incredible moment captured on safari, a tourist in Botswana experiences an unexpectedly close encounter with a young leopard. The footage shows the curious leopard approaching the jeep, sniffing the tourist's boots, and even attempting to play with him. The scene is both thrilling and adorable, as the young leopard's playful curiosity shines through in this rare, close-up experience with a wild animal. Two young cheetahs spotted a jeep and ran toward it, while the tourists inside eagerly took pictures. As expected, the first thing the cheetahs did was climb onto the roof of the jeep to inspect their surroundings. they both sat there peacefully for quite some time, creating a memorable and thrilling experience for everyone. This footage shows that cheetahs aren't particularly interested in the people inside the jeeps. All they seem to want is a high vantage point to peacefully enjoy the landscape. Meanwhile, the tourists get to experience some of the most memorable moments of their lives. A local news channel reporter was delivering a live report while elephants were grazing nearby. Suddenly, a young elephant playfully placed its trunk on the reporter's mouth. Both the reporter and the cameraman couldn't contain their laughter, creating a light-hearted and unforgettable moment on camera. Elephants are peaceful creatures, as shown in this instance where a male elephant approached a tourist, paused for a moment, and then calmly went about his business. A magic moment caught between a dolphin and a dog when a dolphin came out of the water and kissed the dog. Such a beautiful moment. This woman is a diver, and she has had one of the best dives of her life with a pod of wild spinner dolphins. She knows to maintain a safe distance, but the dolphins will come to her if they want to play. The woman describes how the dolphins will playfully take a leaf with their flippers and flick it back to her, like a child playing with their parents. She marvels at how incredibly smart and gentle the dolphins are. To the woman, these dolphins have become her family. She has grown up with this pod, and they have accepted her. She no longer assigns individual names to the dolphins, but rather connects with them on a deep, soulful level. She has seen firsthand how the marine ecosystem, including the fish, reefs, and dolphins, are being impacted by plastic and other harmful waste, and has started to clean up the ocean, removing the plastic and waste so that the marine animals, especially her dolphin family, are not harmed. Ben has been diving for over 20 years and has had remarkable encounters with seals. He describes the experience of shaking hands with a seal as incredible. When he squeezes its flippers, it squeezes back, creating a moment where time stands still. He approaches seals cautiously, recognizing their curiosity. They often come close enough for him to pet and hug them. Ben feels a connection with these gentle creatures, believing they see him as one of their own, and even teach him diving techniques. Over the years, he has learned to gain their trust, and when they realize he poses no threat, their behavior becomes beautifully playful. For Ben, these interactions are special, as he is dedicated to observing wildlife respectfully and without disturbance. One charming moment captures a penguin sliding toward a wildlife photographer, seemingly seeking affection or perhaps a snack. It greets the photographer with a playful ritual, then curiously examines the camera gear, providing an opportunity for close-up shots. Afterward, it poses for more photos before waddling away. Sloths are famous for their slow movements, often taking hours to cross a road. One sloth was slowly making its way across when a kind man stopped to help. After gently placing the sloth on a nearby tree, it waved at the man and appeared to smile, showing its gratitude in its own special way. This fisherman had a delightful encounter with a curious Arctic fox while ice fishing. Attracted by the scent of fresh fish, the brave little fox approached, despite the fisherman's attempts to shoo it away. Eventually, the fisherman softened and offered the fox a piece of his catch. The fox's eyes sparkled with excitement as it accepted the gift, creating a heartwarming moment of connection on the frozen waters. In Coronado, California, a memorable encounter unfolded between a man named Vincent and a playful seal while he was fishing. The curious seal jumped onto Vincent's kayak, nudging him and eventually nuzzling against him, refusing to leave. Initially concerned that the seal might bite, Vincent was pleasantly surprised when it simply relaxed on his back for a delightful 45 minutes. When it was time to return to shore, the seal followed Vincent, and he had to gently coax it back into the water, marking a unique and heartwarming connection between man and marine life. While filming in a national park, a photographer spotted a young bull elk approaching, seemingly ready to challenge him. Understanding the importance of maintaining a safe distance, the photographer remained calm to avoid any potential conflict. As the elk noticed his composed demeanor, it became less aggressive, allowing the photographer to capture some stunning photos. After a brief period of disinterest, the elk suddenly appeared agitated again, as if still contemplating a challenge. However, the photographer stayed calm, not wanting to provoke the animal. Just as a car arrived to pick him up, the elk curiously sniffed the photographer's gear before finally deciding to run away, leaving behind a memorable encounter in the wild. In a captivating video, a wildlife photographer finds himself surrounded by a pack of wolves, often referred to as forbidden huskies. To his amazement, the wolves approach him as if he were one of their own, treating him like a member of their pack. They express their affection by licking him and playfully interacting around him, demonstrating their comfort and trust. The bond between the photographer and these wild animals is truly remarkable, highlighting the wolves' capacity for connection and their ability to sense that he poses no threat. This extraordinary encounter showcases the beauty of wildlife and the potential for understanding and trust between humans and animals in their natural habitat. While filming a bear's morning routine, photographer Drew Hammond encountered an unexpected and delightful moment. As he focused on his work, a bear quietly approached from behind and sat down beside him. Instead of displaying aggression or hostility, the bear appeared calm and content, much to Drew's astonishment. In that serene moment, both the photographer and the bear gazed at the waves lapping against the shore, sharing a unique connection in nature. After a while, the bear stood up and wandered downstream to join its companions, leaving Drew with a peaceful and unforgettable memory of their brief yet magical encounter. Tina, a beluga whale, appears to have a special bond with her zookeeper, almost like she has a crush on him. She seeks his attention and seems to want him to notice her. Tina happily accepts kisses from him and tends to overlook anyone else who tries to interact with her in the same way. When the zookeeper pets her, Tina makes affectionate sounds, showing how much she enjoys being with him. Attempts to introduce her to a male beluga were unsuccessful, as Tina showed no interest and ignored him. In fact, if anyone else approached while she was with her zookeeper, Tina would splash water at them, clearly indicating that she wanted him all to herself. In another delightful moment, a baby seal waddled up to a cameraman in a snowy, icy landscape. Filled with curiosity and playfulness, the little seal made a series of adorable sounds as it sniffed around the cameraman's shoes, clearly fascinated by the strange scent. Their interaction was full of charm and wonder, capturing the essence of the wild. After a while, the seal decided it was time to leave, slipping back into the chilly waters beneath the snow. This marked the end of a heartwarming encounter. With that, we conclude our video today. Which one of these encounters is your favorite? Do you want to pet a lion or a wolf? Let us know in the comments section below. For more content like this, subscribe to our channel and do not forget to leave a like.